welcome to the CS classroom. Today, we're going to create a PySimpleGUI application with multiple windows. What we've done before in previous tutorials is we just created a one-window application where we can calculate, or we can do some calculation, output some data, and maybe just have something pop up with information. So for example, in this window, which is very similar to what we created in a previous tutorial, we can type in some sort of value, some sort of radius, and then calculate the volume of the equivalent sphere. But what we're going to learn how to do in this tutorial is to open up another window like this one and provide the opportunity to do some other calculations or to do some other things in this second window. So for example, right here, I clicked on calculate area, and then I can type in a radius, calculate the area, and it'll just pop up right here. And then once I'm done, I can close this window and then go back to my main window. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the code just for this window. Right here, we have our first line in our first array in the 2D array, enter radius in centimeters, and then this input window right here. We have our second array, which just outputs the volume of the equivalent sphere. We also need to fix this right here. We need to make this centimeters cubed to match up. So we've got the label right here for this particular line. And then right now we just have two buttons, one for calculate volume and one for quit. So what we're going to do is we're going to create this second button right here so we can open up a new window using that. And we're going to do sg.button calculate area, and then we're going to put a comma there. What's the problem right here? Okay, we're good. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to add an event that corresponds to the calculate area button. So we're going to go to elif event equals calculate area. And for some reason this isn't here, but we should also have window.close. So that the window will close whenever we break out of this event loop using either quit or pressing the X button. Okay. So now that we've created this button, what we need to do is make it so that when we click on calculate area, we get this window right here. So basically what we need to do is we need to copy all of this and we need to put it in a function and then edit it to match what's here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a function called calculate area volume right here. Or sorry, calculate area window. We're going to have def, calculate area window, and no parameters. And then, like I said, we're basically going to copy the layout. So we're going to copy the layout, the window, and the event loop from our main window, which is this window, into this function and modify it to match what we see right here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to copy this layout right here, and we're going to name it something different. Copy this right here into this function, and then we're going to name it, let's say, calculate area layout. And we need to change a few things around. So we need to change this to calculate area, and we need to get rid of, or we just need to get rid of this button right here. Okay. So we need to get rid of this button right here because we're no longer calculating the volume here. So get rid of that. This needs to become centimeters squared. And just for clarity's sake, we're going to change this from out calculation for what will be output right here to out area calculation. Not that this would really make a difference, but it just makes it less confusing for someone reading. So calculate area layout, and we've got that. As far as I can see, that's all we need to change. So this layout right here should be the same as what's in this window. Pretty simple. Now what we need to do is we also need to create a new window, just like this one right here. So actually we're just gonna copy this. Just make a few changes. Of course, tab it, put it into the function. We'll call it calculate area window. sg.window, calculate circle area. We're going to change the title of the window. And we're not going to use the layout up here, but we're going to use the new layout inside our function. Calculate area layout. And we don't really want to make the window as big. We'll just add this right here. So that Python knows that we're just creating a modal. Okay, perfect. Now, last part is the event loop, which again, we can just copy from right here. So let's go ahead and copy that. And we need to make a few changes. For one, we're not using this window up here. We're using our calculate area window that we just created. So calculate area window. This stays the same right here. Oh, we need to tab all of this as well. This stays the same right here. Where else do we see window? Okay. We've got window right here, so we need to change that to calculate area window. And we also need to have calculate area window dot close. Cool. Okay. We're gonna make a few other modifications, mainly because we're no longer calculating the volume. We're calculating the area of a circle based on its radius. So we'll keep math.py. We'll change this to 2. And we need to change the name of this variable to area and update out area calculation, which is our new key, our new output area. And we need to also use this variable instead of volume. So area. So we're going to update what's output right here with the area. We're going to update this with the area. Cool. Okay. So that's about it. As you can see, we created this function called calculate area window. We basically copied in the layout window and event loop from the main window, this being the main window, and just made some changes to it. And that looks good so far. Okay, so what we need to do now is right here where it says calculate area, this line corresponding to our calculate area button all the way, not up here, but all the way up here in our main window. So in this case, when the user clicks on calculate area up here, we need to run our new function, calculate area window. So let's go ahead and give that a try. Save that. Let's close this out. And let's X that. So before we execute this, remember we created this function, calculate area window. create a layout, a window, and a new event loop. And now we're calling this function from the event loop in the main window right down here. Let's go ahead and run that. Might get an error, don't know. Okay, so far so good. Let's make sure this works. Cool, that works. Let's open this up. Cool, looks like it works. Calculate area, quit, good to go. And we'll quit out of this too. Cool. Okay, so pretty simple. We basically just created a whole new window inside here, inside a function, and then just called it from the main event loop, from the event loop in our main window. Again, our main window being the one that we started out with right here. So one way we can make this a little bit cleaner, or at least use less code, is we can go ahead and create a new file to hold this secondary window right here. All right. So what we can do is we can let's create a new file called calculate area window. .py. Let's open that up. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this entire function right here and copy it here. We're doing something called creating a module in Python. So we're going to paste it right here. And then we're going to change the name of this function to create. What we also need to do is we need to import some of the libraries we used, again, because we're working in a different file. So import PySimpleGUI as SG. And then we're also using the math library down here. So import math. Looks good. And now what we can do is, based on the file name, we can do import calculate area window right here. So again, we're doing calculate area window because we want to import functions from our calculate area window.py function. And now, because we have this function create, instead of running calculate area window with 2 parentheses, instead of calling the function from this file, we're going to do calculate area window.create, getting the function from this file now. So let's go ahead and run that and see if it works. Cool, all right. So far so good. 23, calculate volume, calculate area, 12. Okay, perfect. Let's quit, and then let's quit. Looks like it opened up again. Okay. So that's how you create an application with multiple windows. And in addition, that's how you organize an application with multiple windows. So while it wasn't necessary that we create this extra file, as you add more and more windows, your code is going to become longer and more complex, and just using multiple files or multiple modules, as they're called, helps to organize your code. And it also helps when someone else wants to look at your code and they want to try to figure out what's going on and what each piece of code is doing. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Remember to like and subscribe. Have a nice day.